Our next guest is an international best-selling author. Her No Greater Love series features contemporary romance stories with strong-willed heroines battling for love in extraordinary situations. Welcome, Amanda Prowse. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
What makes you so extraordinary too is that 5 or so years ago, this was not your life. That this has all happened in such a short space of time, and now you're this jet-setting author who travels the world. I mean, hello, that's pinch yourself stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And there's not a day goes by where I don't realise how very, very lucky I am. But yeah, 5 years ago, I had a normal job, proper job.
Which was what?
I was a management consultant,
right,
working in data warehousing. I can't make it sound interesting. But it's funny, I think if you can do something creative, you kind of get this feeling that maybe you should.
Yeah.
But it's not till you put it out into the big wide world you know whether it's any good or not. So it's a huge gamble.
Massive risk.
Like showing someone your diary, really.
Yeah, it kind of is, because it's so personal to you.
Very much so.
So what happens? I mean, you had this voice in the back of your head going, I just have to do this. You took a punt. You've been published, and the rest is basically history. We'll start with the first book, Poppy Day.
Poppy Day, yeah. That was my first one. And I kind of had the idea for the story. Well, my husband's a soldier, serving soldier still. And he was away on tour. He was in Iraq, actually, at the time. Right. And I had this idea for a story, thinking, what would I do if he got taken while he was over there? What would I do if something happened? Yeah. And like a lot of sort of, military spouses and partners, you kind of play out those awful scenarios.
So, well, it's a reality for you, isn't it, when he leaves?
Absolutely.
Until he walks back in the door.
Yeah, I don't breathe properly when he's away. No.
So it's not the normal while he's away. It's a different existence.
Odd life.
Is it?
Very odd life. And I miss him. He's the love of my life, and I miss him every moment he's away. And it's very, very difficult. And it does become normalised, because obviously we live in an army house or an army patch, so everyone around us is in the same situation. Yeah. But it's still very, very odd. But I wanted to write the story. I wrote it, a sort of a version of it. He came home on R&R. I gave it to him to read, and of course he's a big tough soldier. And he lay on the couch and he was crying. I'm sure I don't want to tell people that. He was crying. He's like, I've got a reputation here. And I said, are you okay? And he said, oh my goodness, it really got to him. And I thought, well, if it gets to him, then maybe other people will find something in it too. And
they did. It went gangbusters.
It did. It went crazy. And every penny from that will always go to help rehabilitate soldiers who have come back injured.
Oh, how cool is that? And you did that right off the get-go?
No, I decided I wanted to get published, and I saw myself, having this fab life. Yes. And the night before I went to sign my publishing deal in London, we stayed at a hotel, and there were many injured soldiers who had come back, with loss of limbs and life-changing injuries. And I said to my husband, if only we had enough money to make a difference, which you never do. Yeah. So I thought, I know, we'll sell the book and try and raise some money that way. We thought maybe we'd sell a few thousand copies, and it sold 250,000 copies so far. So it's like, whoa, that is, amazing.
Wow. Does it get easier in the times that he does go away as a serving soldier, to wait for him to come home, or do you think as long as he's doing this, you will always have that feeling of as it would be in the book, in Poppy Day? I
will always have that feeling. It doesn't get any easier for me. You get used to it, and you kind of fill your day with other stuff and keeping happy and smiley for the kids. Yeah. When they were little, we'd say, oh, Daddy's gone to work somewhere else on exercise. We never actually told them of the danger he was in, because obviously that's my job, to protect them and keep them safe and stable. And no, it doesn't get easier for me to know.
So, OK, so Poppy Day, and then fast forward 2 more. What Have I Done and Clover's Child?
Yeah, What Have I Done was that was a book that really launched me sort of in Europe and internationally. Was the biggest selling download book in the UK, and Book of the Year 2013 on Amazon, which is great.
Wow, is this off the back of Poppy Day, or was this sort of,
Really, I think so. I think Poppy Day sort of earned me a legion of fans, which is wonderful. Yeah. And being quite naive, I don't know how the book industry works. I just write stories and whack them out, and you don't really know what's going to happen. But
because these two, the middle two, are forbidden love and domestic violence.
It's about a controlled relationship, What Have I Done? Right. And it's not too graphic or too gritty, and it's actually a story of survival and how women who are sometimes seemingly have it all. My heroine has this amazing life. She's very beautiful, she's very together, she has a great house, her husband's a sort of well-respected headmaster. And actually, it's that old adage, you never know what's going to go on behind closed doors. I'm just very nosy, and that's what it is.
But so relatable. All of them sound really relatable. And here we get to the latest one, A Little Love.
A Little Love is great.
Oh, my goodness. And Prue Plum, what a name.
I know.
She works at the bakery.
She does. She is a successful baker based in London. And Prue has had everything in her life, seemingly. She has she has a great business, she has a great relationship with her sister, beautiful home, but she's never, ever been in love.
And she's 66.
66, she finds love for the first time. And really, I wanted to address the balance, Jeanette, because I feel if you look at any pop video, magazine or, movie, you'd think that romance and falling falling in love was a preserve of teens.
Absolutely.
And it ain't.
Yeah.
You know, there are women 50 plus, 60 plus, 70 plus.
Why hadn't it happened for Prue earlier than that, do you think?
I think fears about her dark and slightly murky past catching up with her, without giving too much away. And also, I think sometimes you get so entrenched in your life that actually it's hard to step off that hamster wheel and look and think, actually, what am I missing? Where is the piece of a jigsaw I want next? Yeah. And I think sometimes you just don't see what you're missing. Did you,
I mean, you must have researched, I would imagine, to a point, but did you find that there were women like Prue?
Lots and lots of women like Prue. I did tons of research, met some fantastic women. Some had been widowed, you know, some had had marriage breakdowns, others had just never felt that lucky in love, others had had quite negative or destructive relationships, and they were all out there looking for this second, third chance. And it was wonderful to watch them bloom and know that actually it's possible for everyone. And Prue has a phrase, she says, life begins when you let it. And I love that. Yeah. I think that should be the mantra for all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was going to say to you, do you know what true love is? And clearly you do.
I do.
With the Major.
Very lucky, yeah.
Did it just hit you out of, you know, out of the blue?
Do you know what?
When you fell in love with him?
I myself was a single mum. I had a very, very brief marriage in my sort of late 20s, somewhere in the middle. And wasn't looking for, in fact, you know, no makeup, greasy hair, wearing my dad's old Barber and a pair of wellies, went to watch a rugby match.
Nice. And there he was.
There he was. And it was literally love at first sight, which if anyone says that, I always think, doesn't exist.
He's going to love you with your greasy hair.
It happened to me. It's amazing. We're very lucky.
Oh, that's just so very cool. And it's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for writing all the books.
Thank you.
They're great. And we look forward to having you back again, because I know you love NZ.
I do.
Yes.
Completely.
All right. You can find links to Amanda's website on ours.